Hey friends, it's Ms Becca here at the Toro Regional Park in Salinas, California. And woo-wee, it sure smells like spring around here. Just look at this big field of lupin I'm in. It's the perfect setting for the story we're going to read today. Have you ever heard of this story? It's called The Story of Ferdinand by Munro. Drawings by Robert Lawson. The story of Ferdinand is one of my very favorite stories about being big and strong, but still having a very gentle heart. Let's get started. Oh, I love this story. Once upon a time in Spain, Spain is a country in Europe. There was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. Ouch. Butting your head together means you're hitting your heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. That means you start to feel sad because you're alone. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head? She would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. He probably started eating a lot of fruits and vegetables to grow that big and strong. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. Madrid is a big city in Spain. Look at them looking up at that sign. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. Look at those funny hats. Which was your favorite? I think I like this guy. They're all pretty funny. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. There goes Ferdinand. He said, whatever. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Uh-oh. What do you guys see? What is that? It goes like this. Who makes that sound? They're really nice, but if you're mean to it, they can sting you. Do you know what that is? It's a bee! He didn't look where he was sitting, And instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee! Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. The bee didn't want to sting him, but he was scared. Look at Ferdinand. He said, ouch! He looks like that hurt. Wow! It did hurt. Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all. Just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. Uh-oh. They think that Ferdinand is really mean and fierce. Is Ferdinand really mean? No. He's big and strong, but he has a gentle heart. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. Oh no, they took him away. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. Ooh, I bet it smelled good in there. All those flowers. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. That doesn't sound nice. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. You're going to use sharp things to hurt Ferdinand. They're trying to hurt our friend. Oh, no. Oh, no. We better figure out what's going to happen. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull. And you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand! Let's see what's going to happen to Ferdinand. What's he going to do? Ferdinand might see all these weapons and get scared and think they're going to hurt him, and he might go, oh, no! And he might turn really mean. Let's see. We'll see what happens to Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the banderilleros were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. What do you think Ferdinand did? Doesn't sound like Ferdinand to me. I don't think he's gonna be mean. We'll see though. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair. And he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the picadores were madder. And the matador was so mad, he cried, boo-hoo, because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. Home, home, home. What a great sound. Home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. he is very happy. Wow, what a great story. The end. We love that story, Ferdinand, because he is such a great example of being big and strong, but still having a gentle heart. You don't have to be mean. Kindness goes so far. When you're nice to one person, that might make them so happy and feel so good inside that they're going to say, I'm going to be nice to somebody too. So they go out and they're nice to somebody. And then that person goes out and they're nice to somebody. It just spreads. Kindness is so much better than being mean. Ooh, ooh, I don't like that feeling. So that's what I love about Ferdinand. He shows us that no matter what someone looks like, no matter what something looks like, our eyes can be deceiving. That means that it might not be exactly like we see it. So just because we see someone that looks big and tall and scary, they might actually be very sweet and ready to help you if you need help. So it's best to get to know people and try things before we say, no, I don't like it. No, I don't like them. It's best to get to know them first. I love that, Ferdinand. Thank you so much for being our friend, being big and strong, and still having a gentle, kind heart. Have a great day, friends.